Restoring Illinois to greatness. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Opportunity Project and hosted by AM 560's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with Pat Hughes on this edition of Rising. And Pat, so the primary campaign for governor on the Democrat side, I mean, I don't think Chris Kennedy's going to make March 20th. I don't think he's going to make the election. I think he's going to drop out. I don't think there's going to turn out to be much of a primary.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, Pritzker is just sucking up all the oxygen, and he needs to continue.
That's
to
not
walk
the only.
this planet.
That's not the only thing he's sucking up. They're hot dogs, turkeys, hams. It was Christmas time.
But on the Republican side, with Jeannie Ives' late entrance to challenge Bruce Rauner, it's been interesting. Out of the chute, Fremont Township Republican Organization up in Lake County unanimously endorsed Ives for governor. And in 2014, they didn't endorse any candidate in the Republican primary for governor. And this week, my colleague in sound at Salem Media, Mike Gallagher, nationally syndicated talk show host, is coming to town for a fundraiser for Jeannie Ives. There's a number of state legislators that are supporting Jeannie Ives. I suspect she's going to roll out those endorsements in the not-too-distant future. It's just such an unusual thing to see a Republican governor face a serious challenge in the primary where you have actual Republican organizations and Republican members of the House and Senate that are in open revolt against the incumbent Republican governor.
Yeah,
it's not happened in my lifetime.
I can't think of a circumstance like the closest thing to it is like an Eric Cantor situation where there's just this no confidence in someone who is ostensibly supposed to be adhering to and advancing the principles of the Republican Party and the Republican brand, and has failed to do anything that he's promised to do. And instead of doing the things he's promised to do for the Republican or conservative brand, he's doing the opposite, right? HB 40, sanctuary state, all this other stuff. So it's just an unusual circumstance with an unusually bad and feckless politician in Bruce Rauner who's getting bad advice. But, you know, Dan, I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it from now until March 20th. The only political asset Rauner has is his money. When anybody knows, like the Fremont Township folks, when anybody knows, the two of them, right? That's why they voted unanimously for Jeannie, because everyone in that room knows who Jeannie is and knows who Bruce is. And if the electorate knows that, then he has no chance. The question for her exclusively is making sure everyone knows both of them, because if they do, she will win.
And the question for a lot of other Republican title holders in the party, township chairman, county chairman, the like, is whether they're going to sell their souls for 30 pieces of silver, which is happening too. Rauner is making the rounds, writing $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 checks to these local Republican organizations to try and buy their goodwill back after stabbing them in the back and lying to them as he did everybody else. And you have some committeemen. They're welfare queens. I don't know how to describe it. What are we going to do without Rauner's money? I mean, the Republican Party existed before Bruce Rauner. It'll exist after Bruce Rauner. There are other people with big checkbooks, but so lazy, so weak are some of these individuals that they're willing to sell out. They're willing to say with 4 knife wounds in their back, oh, it's okay. Right. I mean, it's the Ike Turner.
And they're so weak there.
It'll never happen again, baby.
It is,
right? And here's $5,000 or $10,000 to make it all right. I still love you, baby. It'll never happen again. And you have some people falling in line, and so it'll be interesting to see if Rauner can stem the bloodletting that's happening in terms of not just grassroots conservatives, but people in the so-called establishment of the party, people with titles in the party, precinct captains and precinct committeemen that have votes for endorsements. If he can staunch the bleeding that is starting.
I think the answer to that is even if he was able to do that with Jeannie Ives, and my hope is that he isn't, it's over. He has no chance of winning the general election. So it's just, this is, like you say, it's dead man walking. And by the way, those committeemen who are taking that money, not only are they willing to be bought, they're willing to be bought cheaply. I mean, at least show some stones and negotiate a higher price than 5 or 10 or 15,000. At the very least, show that you've got some gumption. They can't even do that.
Yeah, that is something that people have to get their minds around. Rauner is done. There is no amount of money and no amount of 30-second commercials that is going to reverse the indelible brand that he has emblazoned upon the majority of the electorate, 3/4 of which, as we stand here today, want somebody new. Political death. So the sooner Republicans accept that fact, the better choice you will make come March 20 and going forward, and the better chance Republicans in this state will have to be the majority party in 2018 and into the remap year of 2020.